So here's the question. As a real estate investor, how do you build a business that you're excited to show up to every day, while you constantly grow your stream of passive income that you and your family can depend on for life, without having to leave your computer or even live somewhere that houses are affordable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Brian Elwood.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the show. So last time we talked about adding value and how it relates to the money you make as an entrepreneur or as an employee, and kind of the epiphany I had that led me to be kind of 100% committed to the entrepreneurial world. I don't ever want to go back unless I absolutely was forced to. So today I would like to just sort of quick episode, give you guys a lay of the land of what my businesses look like today and what my life kind of looks like today. Just so you'll know, who you're learning from and exactly kind of what I'm up to. So, before I do that, if you didn't listen to my little spiel in the last episode about my book, I'll just give you the highlights. I wrote a book about how to hire your first acquisition manager for your real estate business. And looking back, even though we've had over 10 employees in our company at any given time, the acquisition manager remains the most powerful and effective hire that we've ever made in our company. When we hired our first guy, we went from 300 or so a year in revenue to about $1 million. So we tripled our business. And it was just because we had somebody going out on appointments and meeting with sellers and leaving them with contracts in hand all day, every day. Whereas previously we had just done that kind of when we found the time. So that was a game changer for us. And I wrote a book teaching people how to hire their first acquisition manager. I give you all the job posting, the interview questions, the personality tests you have to run them through, the contracts you sign with them, what like non-competes, just how to pay them, how we pay ours, how to train them and manage them, and sales strategies they can use to convert more, all the technology that we use to manage leads and communicate, and et cetera, et cetera. All that stuff basically is in the book. And the best part is that it's free. All I ask is that you cover the cost of shipping. So if you want to check it out more, just go to fireyourself.net and you can get it. So that being said, the way that my real estate business looks today, the business is in Middle Tennessee. We kind of flip houses and own a portfolio of a few dozen rentals all over Middle Tennessee. We kind of started in Nashville, and at the time of this recording, Nashville is a super hot and competitive market. We're honestly finding more opportunities outside of the immediate city. So we kind of, spread to certain other cities around Nashville where the real estate markets are still hot. There's still opportunities, and you can get cheap houses there. One of the best things about our market is that we're buying houses for under $100,000 all day long. I mean, sometimes we buy houses for $30,000 or $20,000. And of course, those usually need work if they're actually going to become a rental. But, in future episodes, I'm going to talk to you guys about picking a virtual market to invest in. It's really important to have somewhere where you can go buy your own $30,000 houses, because it's some of the best investing you can do, best ROI, and it's amazing. And a lot of people don't live in places where they have those types of deals available. If you live in California or Colorado, or, not all parts of those states, but, where it's expensive, you're not going to find houses like that. So, Anyways, the way our business model sort of looks is we have a full-time marketing guy who's constantly working on driving leads. We have 2 full-time sales reps. We have an office manager slash CFO, does all our finance and office related stuff. We have a guy who looks at all the deals, analyzes all the deals, and kind of manages our renovations, and then someone who's actually out in the field going in the projects, which is crucial. You know, you got to have boots on the ground, someone that's going inside of all your rehabs at least once a week, taking pictures and videos and sending them to you if you're running this business virtually. But even if I lived in Nashville, I'd still have it set up that way. I wouldn't go to the properties myself because even though it's a big deal, it's also still, like most things, something you can automate, systemize, and outsource. You know, if you haven't read The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, might as well go ahead and pause this and read that book. It's probably one of the best business books ever. But anyways, so most years we'll do, you know, somewhere in that 50 to 100 deal range. We've done over 100 before. But we seem to average, you know, around that 70 or so mark. And yeah, so we'll have 5 or 6, you know, rehabs going on kind of at any given time. And the way my day kind of looks, I live in Colorado, actually. I'm in Denver, is I'll be on the phone with my business partner, who he actually moved to Denver as well. And we go to Nashville every couple of months to meet with our team, to look at our projects. That's an important part too. That's something we learned from Richard Branson, is that, you know, even if you own multiple businesses and you live away from them, it's important to visit them on site regularly with some level of frequency. But yeah, I'm on the phone with him. I'm on the phone with our marketing guys, our sales reps, you know, the entire team for like our Monday morning huddle type call. I'm looking at KPIs and looking at finances. Probably no more than about 20 hours a week, of actual scheduled calendar time on our flipping business, which is awesome. You know, we were able to do that just by slowly but surely replacing ourselves in every area of the business that we used to do, because we used to do it all ourselves. And then I've also got my coaching business, where I basically coach people on how to be successful in kind of starting the same business model we do. You know, I highly encourage people to find markets, if they don't live in one, where you can get cheaper properties, because it's great to have multiple exit strategies. You know, like just as an example, we bought a property recently for 70 and we put 20 into it, so we're in it for 90, and listed it for 119, you know, hoping to make our 15 or 20 grand. And then we reduced the price to 109, then we had reduced it to 99, and it was only at that point where we started getting offers. And we looked at the numbers, and we were just going to break even or lose a few $1,000 if we took an offer around 99. So what did we decide to do? We just called the bank and said, hey, you know, let's get a loan on this, and we're going to hold it as a rental and pay off the private money lender that currently held the lien on the property. And bam, you know, it's like turning a failure into a success, taking a loss, turning it into a win, because now we've got another rental in our portfolio that will cash flow. And we could do that, you know, theoretically over and over again, as long as the numbers made sense. And we had some cash, obviously, for the down payment. So that's what I love about this kind of lower end fix and flip model, is that it really takes the risk out. You know, you buy something for 50 and put 10 into it and list it for $89.99 or something, $89,999, doesn't sell. Shoot, you're only in it for 60 grand. Just throw a tenant in there and rent it for $800 a month, and you'll make good return. So you always need to have multiple exit strategies, and that's not something that other real estate coaches, consultants like myself will always teach you, they teach you to go for the big bucks, but I'm kind of like, I operate under the Warren Buffett mindset, right? Never lose money. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Because if you lose money, especially if you lose a lot of money, everything that you worked for basically goes out the window. These big time developers that are building skyscrapers right now at the peak of the real estate market, maybe they'll do really well. I mean, they've got more balls than me. But if they're wrong and they lose millions because the market tanks, because of something happens or whatever, they'll be bankrupt. And I'll just have a bunch of rental properties, that I've got to hold on to. And that's for me a sweet spot, because I'm more about living a comfortable lifestyle. Don't drive a Lamborghini or anything like that. And I don't think I ever will. But yeah, it's just all about figuring out, what do you need to live a good life? What is your number? If you don't know that, you got to figure it out. So what you would basically do is kind of sketch out your ideal life. Where do you live? What kind of house? What kind of car do you drive? What kind of vacations do you want to go on? What kind of things you want to do with your day, on a day-to-day basis in an ideal world. And if you want a mansion and a Ferrari and all that stuff, that's fine. You're allowed to want whatever you want and to think big. Just know that it's going to take bigger action, and it might take longer to be able to pay for that lifestyle via passive income versus, a more moderate one. I don't have any interest for that stuff. So when I sat down and sketched out my, my goals, I didn't, I think my perfect life, like where I could do all the stuff I wanted to do, when I actually costed it out, was around maybe 120, 150,000 a year. And that was including going on a couple of vacations and, having a brand new car and a nice house somewhere. That was also, not being in any debt. But I think it did include paying a mortgage. I didn't assume that my personal residence would be paid off, but that's it, and then I was like, wow, so I only have to create 150 grand in a year in passive income. And I'd be out of the game, essentially. I'd have that financial foundation under me where I basically got mailbox money, each month that totaled what I needed to live off of. And then from there, you can do whatever you want with your time. You could literally just lay on a hammock for the whole year, or take up a new hobby, or travel, or start another business or multiple businesses and do what you're passionate about. And there's almost no risk to it, because you've always got that 150 grand a year coming in to fall back on. As long as you don't go out and increase your expenses dramatically to where the 150 won't cut it anymore, you're free to take infinite risk. And for some of you, you might say, man, I only need 50 grand a year and I'd be great. And that's even better news, because you'll get there pretty quick. And you should always be tracking this, I'm not at the 150 yet, but I'm trending towards it in just passive income. And once I get there, I'll be able to call myself what they call a 100%er, which means 100% of your needs are covered by passive income that you do not work for, right? That's just basically rental income. Or if I got my flipping business completely automated and money was just coming in, that would be counted as what I would call mailbox money too. It's money you don't work for. You think about the sharks on Shark Tank. They might consult with a lot of their companies once a month or once a quarter. And, as long as their companies are profitable, they're just receiving dividend checks every quarter it's passive income for them. So businesses can be passive as well, but it's definitely more difficult than just buying a rental and having a property manager manage it. That's much more passive. We even have an additional layer in between us and the property manager, which is our office manager, to basically manage the property managers and take their calls and do things like pay certain bills and, keep the accounting up and the bookkeeping and all that kind of little stuff that your property manager doesn't do for your portfolio. So the goal, with my coaching and kind of this podcast is I want to teach people how to be successful real estate investors, build businesses that are founded upon, marketing and sales and intelligent deals, where there's multiple exit strategies and you're not sticking your neck out there every time you do a deal. That's what it's all about. And then using the money and the deals that come in to build a portfolio. Anytime you can keep a property, you should. You should always be looking for ways to get more doors in your portfolio, more units, more houses, and increase your passive income and speed up your journey to becoming 100%er. That's what it's all about. So yeah, more good stuff to come, guys. I'm excited to just share all this stuff with you, and I want to hear what you guys think as well. So again, go to fireyourself.net. Check out my free book on how to hire your first full-time acquisition manager that will really explode your business. Till next time, guys. Talk to you then. Peace.
Want more? Get your free copy of Brian's book that is changing real estate businesses everywhere. Just go to www.fireyourself.net. Also, register for your free virtual real estate investing online masterclass at virtualinvestingclass.com.